Hello everybody and welcome to the Global Portrait Project channel. This is the first posted time-lapse video for the Global Portrait Project, and I hope that you might be able to check out the Global Portrait Project on Instagram and Twitter and hit the subscribe button below, so as soon as we start to post the first country video for Afghanistan you'll get notified. So I'm talking about filming the painting process on Sisters, a commission piece I painted over about a week in March 2021. My usual technique is to start with a light base wash on the face areas, which you can see going on now. This video was filmed using my smartphone. I'd already tried using the phone's time-lapse setting, which wasn't really adjustable enough. I'd also tried using a Canon camera with its time-lapse mode on. I also did normal shooting with a Canon and tried to compress the filming down to fit the timeline. None of that worked very well. I also subsequently went through the Lapse app and then started this video with the time-lapse app, which I did find a little bit glitchy, and I do at one point lose the glasses in a painting section. Notice that I'm fairly zoomed out in these early shots. The angle's not particularly tilted away, so it gives an excessive amount of footage of my rather delightful hairline. Once I've let my first wash dry, I like to put a lot of my darkest darks in, which helps me balance out my lightest and darkest facial marks and works out what I need to put in between with regards to tone. And it's around about this point in the video that I shifted from using the time-lapse app to the Lapse It app, because I lost a whole section of filming when I paint the glasses. So you see how that's all been lost there. I've stuck through the Lapse It app right the way through to the end of the video. I found it much more adjustable and logical to use than any of the other apps that I tried. And apologies here for the chunky plaid gardening shirt. It was pretty cold in the studio on that day in the middle of March. As I go in a bit closer here on the facial features, you'll just notice one of the techniques that I use, which I often work fairly two-handed. So I'm basically adding ink onto the page with my right hand and removing ink with my left hand. As I work around the nose here, there's quite a lot of that goes on. The main reason for the adding and then the removing is just to keep some of the edges fairly smooth. Ink does have a tendency to form a fairly harsh edge if you don't take it off. So that's why I'm using my left hand. really started to get more into focusing on portrait painting coming up to a year ago, and one of the reasons for that was the sort of moment that's coming up sort of nowish, which is it's just that bit where you're working on a portrait and suddenly the character on the face starts to pop up off the paper, and I always think that's a really lovely magical moment in the process, which is very satisfying. So I had some advice before I started filming this film to fix the focus on the camera, and this is quite easy to do with the Lapse app, and was pretty good advice. It's basically to stop as your hand comes in, having an active autofocus, the page going in and out of focus. What I failed to appreciate was that I also should have done the same for the shutter, as particularly in this section my dark sleeve causes the white paper to vary in colour throughout, so pretty well every time my sleeve goes into the picture the camera tries to adjust the overall colour or the tonal balance, and so apologies in the video if certainly the white paper keeps on looking intermittently less white. Little technique changes I'm noticing as I'm going through the various different sections of filming here. I'm beginning to zoom in a little bit more and frame the painting to fill the screen more, and filming a little bit more from the front angled back, which just means that you're seeing thankfully a lot less of my head. I'm aware that there are lots of rookie mistakes and errors in the video. I'm very keen to get any feedback. So any feedback on ways that the video could be improved, please comment below or visit one of the Global Portrait Project social media sites and leave a comment for me. That would be great. I'm now going to probably leave you to watch the rest of the video without me in the background until we get to the very end. So just approaching towards the end of the painting. All in, I think the painting took somewhere around about 10 to 12 hours. I've used the Schmincke Aerocolour inks on smooth paper. The painting's quite big. I think it's around about 700mm by about 500mm. This is a larger size than I usually work at, but it is what the client wanted, so that's what I've done. I did quite like painting on a large size, so it was a lot of fun. It was probably about my only little glitch with the Lapse app came up fairly soon now, which is that the Lapse app does consume a huge amount of memory on your device, and it did result in it shutting down due to lack of storage space, but only a tiny amount of footage I think was lost. That's probably around about now. So you notice as I come to the end of the picture I'm pretty zoomed in on the framing. The painting is pretty well coming up to finish now, and all that's left for me to do is just put the final touches in there with the paint, and then get the rubber out and remove a lot of the pencil lines. That's always nice for sort of crisping up the edges of the paint. And then what is also one of my favourite parts, which is the removing of the masking tape. So here we go with rubbing out, and once that's all done, the tape comes off, showing a nice clean edge. I was very happy with how the painting turned out. I've learnt loads about filming time-lapse videos, video editing, adding sound and posting to YouTube, and I'd like to thank you once again all for watching right the way through to the end. Please subscribe to the channel by hitting the button below, and the real birth of content should be starting very soon. And links to the Instagram page and the Twitter page are below, and they should be live. The link to the website is also there, and that should be going live soon.